Listen to the radio. Harry and Edna's want to show you heard it from the Three Bells.
What-o, Harry?
And what-o, Edna, and welcome to Harry and Edna on the wireless as we bob along facing dear old England, as we take you by the hand. I was trying to think of something very romantic and special there, but I've lost my track.
Skip along the sand, you could say.
We could do, as we skip along the sand, as we take you into a little tour into the current vintage scene.
What-ho?
That was Jack Hilton with... Oh, I can't remember which one it was.
That's You, Baby.
That's the one. That was a very skipping along song, wasn't it?
I must admit, as I did sort of fumble the intro there and said, as we take you by the hand, as we lead you through the current UK vintage scene, we do give your ears a musical education.
We do. And it's not just sort of the same old sort of 40s tunes that you hear at events. It's nice to expose you to some of those tunes that you wouldn't normally get to hear or you wouldn't associate with the era.
I should also confess, due to a slight technical problem, i.e. I left them on the desk at Harry and Edna HQ. We're having to do this without our script and running order, which means Edna doesn't know we're actually playing Moonlight Serenade by Glenn Miller, which is a typical sort of 1940s song coming up.
No, what I was trying to say is that we move away from that. That's not just we don't play the same thing over and over.
Apart from this week.
Maybe we play the
bit later on, yes, it may slip out.
Yeah, but, apart from that one, we try and expose you to new tunes.
We do. Now, we also took you by the hand and we led you recently to the Atomic Festival, which is a 1950s festival. But this time we're doing... It's festival season, really.
Well, it is, isn't it?
And we're going to 1940s season with... What's it called?
It's called 40s Festival. Or Festival of the 40s.
Festival of the 40s.
But you said to me their website was 40sfestival.org.
Yes. Well, don't ask me why they did the URL. The one.
Oh. That's why I was getting confused when you frowned at me then.
Yeah. So it's Festival of the 40s. We're going through all the decades.
However, if you want to look on their website, it's 40sfestival.org.
But we're going to find more out because young Mr. Matt is coming on and he's going to tell us all about Festival 40s Festival, whichever he likes to call it.
Yes, and we might find out which way round it goes.
He's joining us on the telephone. Now, it's been a while since we sat facing each other. Of course, in wonderful radio land, you hear Harry and Edna on the wireless every week because we love doing that. But sometimes we have to record a couple in a row because real life does get in the way. And it's been a little while because you've been all thespion-y.
I have.
Well, actually, we haven't, have you? You've been backstage.
No, and front of house, sort of not keeping the show together. That's a bit big-headed. That's completely not what I did.
Are you listening, folks? Yeah, she's claiming all the
credit. I did the whole thing. No, I just made sure the evening ran smoothly by.
But I'm confused because we've been listening to you for the last few weeks and you said, I've left theatre, I've left theatre, I've gone back to my love of heritage and I'm now working in the heritage industry.
Yes.
And there you are, you're doing theatre.
But do you know, that's the beauty of the trade I'm in, is that you can morph the two together and you could do theatre in a heritage setting, which is what I did. And it
was open air Shakespeare in a castle. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
How cool was that? And the backdrop was just amazing. And we were actually very blessed with two beautiful evenings. The summer sun had lasted well into the evening, and those glorious summer evenings that the sky is still blue and it doesn't really get chilly until literally the sun has set, and it's clear skies, and it was stunning, wasn't it?
I don't know, it made me a very sleepy person because we are about to play Two Sleepy People by Geraldo. But again, you wouldn't have known, I didn't have the running order.
No.
But we can talk more about this. But do you know what? We've got to play some tunes. So let's play a bit of Geraldo, and then you can tell me more about what you guys got up to. Or shall I admit to what young mini Harry and I got up to when you weren't watching?
Well, yes.
Or did you notice?
No, I think we have confessions after What-ho? Go on then, Harry.
Oh,
go
who's
on.
going first?
No, you go.
You've got to confess. Who's going to do the confession?
I think you should confess first.
Well, the strange thing is, young Harry and Edna, we like to donate a little bit of our time, about 10% of our time, to good works and so forth. And one of the things we volunteered ourselves, or I got volunteered, or you volunteered. I don't know which way round it went. Anyway, I was there, having to do a bit of the lighting, because the only snag of doing open air theatre, particularly in a place that doesn't have any light pollution, is... What's that noise?
Nothing. Just carry on. I'm not doing anything. Can't hear anything. There you go. Finished. Was that distracting you?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I put you off your stride.
Where was I? I was doing open air theatre. There's no light pollution. Is that it doesn't half get dark when
it gets
the sun
dark.
goes down. So we had to put in some floodlights and we did some backdrop lighting. But because I was doing it for Gracias, for the love of William, Mr. Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I thought, was that your tummy?
No, go on.
No, was that the other noise of your tummy?
No, that was fun. It was me shifting on the chair. Trying to distract you.
You are trying to distract me. I decided, you know what, I'll outsource it to Mini Harry, my son. And he was very good. He was able to run cables up walls, which I'm sure was perfectly fine and safe.
No, what happened was I came along and I said, "Oh, that's clever. How did you get the light up there?" And then I thought, "Oh, what have you done?"
Well, we were using ladders, obviously.
Yeah.
And the ladder was just a teensy bit short, so it was just easier for me to say, "Come up here, young Mini Harry," and I just gave him a bit of a bunk up.
Did you? And then left him stranded on top of...
No, he just run the cables in.
Yeah.
We connected the lights up, and then he came down.
And you caught him.
He slid down, and I guided him back onto the ladder.
Right. So
it was perfectly safe. For those of you who know young Harry doesn't actually take risks.
No.
I am Mr. Health and Safety.
Yes, you are actually.
People think maybe that's a bit, things like that or this is a little bit risky, but to be honest, I'm really boring. I risk assess the whole lot.
Yes, that's why I just yawned. Sorry, I just yawned while Harry was talking.
Because I was talking about health and safety.
Yeah, that's
anyway, so that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I think, what did you do? You just stuffed yourself with sausage sandwiches and watched it.
What I love is sometimes theatre can be quite pretentious and you get all these lovely people turning up with all their candelabras and champagne and having a jolly, jolly lovely time. And there's me and my team after the interval because there was leftover bacon and sausage for the baps, and we just hoovered up really. So while everyone's having their glamorous picnicky evening meals watching Shakespeare in the open air theatre, we were there troughing bacon baps.
Of England and the rest of the world, this is what you're missing if you're not bobbing around in the Solent.
Yes, for life
you're missing out on life.
And
come over and see us, and you too can. That's your tummy again, isn't it?
No.
You too can enjoy open air theatre with a sausage bab.
Yeah. Beautifully
lit by young Mini Harry.
Yes, risking life and limb as Harry vaults him over a wall that he shouldn't be on because that's historic fabric and all that. But it was lovely. It was a fantastic evening, and Harry and I were just saying as we were bobbing along on the Solent, it's been glorious today, and we were just saying these are what your memories are made of, aren't they? These are your summer memories, and hopefully young Harry will have those memories of being boosted up a wall to run cables on our most glorious summers. Well, it's not even summer. Nice, just a beautiful, shiny, sunny, happy day. Good to be alive day.
Can go out at any time because so people are probably listening to this
in the depths of winter,
in just before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm going, what are you talking about?
But it was lovely, wasn't it? It's just one of those glorious, good to be alive days, and experiencing open air theatre. If you ever get the chance, I really do recommend going and experiencing it. Even if it's not your thing, just give it a go.
Rather like Hoagie Carmichael.
Again? Oh no, we didn't play. That was Jack Hilton.
Yeah. Hoagie Carmichael's next, and there's a track called Heart and Soul, which I do love. And I think everybody should experience a little bit of Hoagie. Now, I should say we're going to have a bit chatting in a moment because we're going to have Matt. He must be waiting on the telephone to tell us all about Festival of 40s Festival, 40 Fest, whatever it is called.
Well, while you play a bit of Hoagie, I'm going to go to the telephone box and see if he's still hanging on.
What ho?
You know, I've said it before, but I do love a bit of Hoagie.
Yeah.
Now, do you recognise that tune?
I do, because we played it a few weeks ago.
We did. It is, and we got complaints.
Did we really?
We did, for playing modern music, because what we did was every now and again we like to show how our beloved music from our beloved vintage era influences modern music. And there was a band or an act or trio, whatever you call them, called The Train.
Wasn't it boy band? Is
Possibly.
it a boy band?
Anyway, these Train people did a song called Play That Song, or DJ Play That Song, and it was the tune to Heart and Soul by Hoagy Carmichael. Different lyrics, but the tune was the same.
And wasn't it one of these where you heard the modern song because the kids were playing it? Kids of today.
That was
kids.
it. Our children were
playing it.
And
you recognised it.
And well, I knew it from somewhere, and I couldn't place it. So I looked at the credits, and it said one of the credits was Hoagy Carmichael.
Ah, that's right.
And then we had to spend ages looking through our Hoagy Carmichael collection to find it.
Yeah. And because
we have a lot of not CDs, we have 78s, a lot of 78s, stacks of them, most of which we've never played.
We literally have stacks.
We have a mountain.
78s.
Because people very kindly keep giving them to us, and we don't have time to listen to them all. And eventually I found it, which is what you just heard.
I know, and it is a beautiful song. That, and you were saying, weren't you, when we were listening to it, that you could just listen to that over and over again. It's such a beautiful track. I have listened to it over and over again. I just drift away in my little universe of pleasure. It's just one of those beautiful, gentle songs, isn't it? It's not offensive. It's not shouting. It's just a beautifully crafted song.
I think it's one of those songs that if you're in love, you suddenly understand all the lyrics. You know, like in You're Heartbroken, suddenly all songs of "Oh, she's left me" or "Oh, he's left me," depending on which way round it is. You suddenly understand all the lyrics when you're heartbroken, but when you're normally just go, that's just a song. And it's the same when you're in love. Songs like that just mean so much to you.
Oh.
Soppy Harry.
He's having a moment.
Right, now we've got Matt Page coming up, haven't we?
We have. He's on the. I've got through to the operator and she's connected us, so he's hanging on.
Yeah, he's on the telephone, but we should actually confess we recorded this quite a while ago. And when we recorded it, we didn't actually know the dates of the festival because it was pre that.
Yeah, so we were trying to avoid saying the dates because we didn't know.
But we could say them now because we do know, because we put it in the can, because it's coming up on what day, because it's not far.
No, it's coming up on the 20th to 22nd of July.
27, was that 22nd?
You said 20th to 22nd of July.
There you go.
So it's 3 days, I'm assuming. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's right. It's a cracking weekend up in Young? It's a place. Up in Cambridgeshire.
Yes.
And it must have been about a couple of years ago, young Minnie, Harry and I were able to come, or went to it, and it was a cracking event. It really is. There's a lot going on there. But we'll find out more about it when he joins us on the telephone. And until then, shall we have a little bit of Fred Astaire?
What ho?
And welcome back. Well, with us on the phone, we are joined by Matt Page, who's organising the Festival of the Forties. Hello, Matt, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for your invite.
That's
I'm looking
all right.
forward to speaking to you.
Oh, brilliant. Now, what we'd like to do is just for you to outline for us exactly what Festival of the Forties is. What does it mean, and what will people get when they come and visit the festival?
Thank you. Well, basically, the Festival of the Forties was put together to raise money for Sue Ryder Care and to add a new event, or 40s event, to the 1940s calendar.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's a huge festival then, so it's not just a tiny little few fields, it's a massive, massive occasion.
Well, that's the hope for the first year. I mean, we basically, when we decided to put this together, because my wife actually is a palliative nurse, I tour the country with a 1940s show called the Spitfire Ball, and the two just gelled together. We toured the country last year to learn quite a few 1940s ideas, and we've come up with some things what we believe are different. We if you go on the Underground in London, there are spaces there for buskers where people get up and sing and dance. Yeah. That's what we intend to put in the show. So basically there's an area where somebody walking past wants to get up and burst into a song. It's there for them to do it. A lot of people at the moment on the 40s scene don't believe in, there seems to be a lot of grey areas concerning the German Axis troops.
Right.
But I mean, some people did put up a few comments about that. But there again, if I was to say who could come and who couldn't come, I would be doing what the Nazis done in the Second World War. Yeah. So I look that it should be open for everybody to come. Yeah, absolutely. So once you've got nice and merry on the Friday night and you've woken up with a bit of a hangover possibly on Saturday morning, what could you go and see then? You can. You've got a total of 35 reenactment groups have confirmed so far. Wow. We've got quite a few groups that were in the TV series Band of Brothers, a lot of individual groups, a lot of new groups that are starting up. We feel that they deserve a chance to get onto the reenactment circuit. We've got vintage cars, farm machinery, a 1940s village to shop in, uniforms and memorabilia, model displays, and live entertainment on all day.
Brilliant. So with these reenactment groups, are they primarily American, British, German, French?
We've got a complete spectrum, right even down to the well-recognised and awarded group, the Japanese Reenactment Association, are coming all the way up from Cornwall to Peterborough. That's going from basically one side of the country to the other. It's fantastic response.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get to get a whole flavour of the Second World War, in essence.
Well, it is. No, yeah, in one respect, but it is a festival of the 1940s.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got an arena there. We're doing things a little bit different where we've got people in there demonstrating horse riding side saddle.
Oh, wow.
We're you know, like the Lord and Lady of the Manor from the 1940s. We're also going back to the days of when, I don't actually know your age, but when I was younger, and I don't mean to be cheeky, we used to do the school games, the hop, skip and jump, three-legged race, sack race. We've got an arena dedicated to that, and we're also thinking of bringing in 6 ton of sand and having a day at the seaside with deck chairs.
Oh, brilliant. So the kids can come and have a play in the sand.
Yeah, that's it. We want to involve the whole family. I mean, we're a big believer in it. It's something for the whole family.
What ho?
So it's not just about reenactment, is it? There's lots of music going on as well. Not that I've heard of.
That's something new. Plus, the usual stuff of guest singers getting up and giving a sing-song through the days. There's learning how to swing dance. There's the Lindy Hop thing where you learn, learning how to stroll.
Brilliant.
It's quite a bit on. But what we've also done this year is we've invited down local choirs. And the local choirs are going to do barbershop through different parts of the event.
Oh, wow. So you're surrounded by reenactment and entertainment and obviously lots of things going on musically, things for the children to do.
Nice place to be.
Brilliant.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, if the weather's there, they'll come in the bucket full.
Absolutely. So is this something you're organising as a sideline to what you do normally? Is it something that's consuming your time?
It's a thing that basically got put together for the one-off, but it's been so successful. And there's some good people on the 40s scene. They support great causes. Yeah. And they're all turning out.
Brilliant.
You know? I mean, the day actually came because we scoured the calendar so we didn't clash with everybody.
Yep.
And this date come up and it's just grew and grew and grew, and people have just kept coming. And a lot of the reenactment groups are going to Beltring and War and Peace the week after.
Ah, okay.
And we've invited them to come, if they're coming from the north, to come down, stop over.
Yep.
Check the vehicles over, enter the competitions and everything else, have a break before they go on to Beltring, and then go down.
Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us.
No, thank you for the chance to do it. And if we can support you in any way, by all means, please let us know. Or if there's any other reenactment group or 1940s event out there wanting to advertise at the Festival of the 40s, please tell them to get in touch and they can advertise. We've got an area especially dedicated for all future events.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us. It sounds like it's going to be a fantastic event, and I hope it goes really, really well for you. So all the luck in the world for that one.
Thank you very much, and thank you. I really do appreciate it.
What ho?
So that was Matt from Festival of the 40s. Which,
on his ukulele?
No, not just then, but before that track.
On the telephone?
Was Matt from Festival of the 40s or 40s Festival, whatever way round it's going to be. And the dates for it are 20th to 22nd of July, so well worth a visit.
2018.
Well worth a visit.
It is absolutely cracking. And what was the website?
Well, we think it's 40sfestival.org.
There you go. No, it's 40s Fest, isn't it?
No, you told me festival. Oh.
Put into Google.
Yeah. 40s Festival, 40s Cambridgeshire.
Festival, Cambridge. It'll come up. Trust me. It'll be there. Mr. Google knows everything. Now, in between that, we played the Glenn Miller track we were talking about earlier. And I was saying to you, and you thought this was a bit nerdy, that whenever I hear that song, I think of Doctor Who, because there was an episode of Doctor Who when he danced with, I think it was Billie Piper. They had a dance together to Moonlight Serenade. And then there was another episode of Doctor Who, which I think had David Tennant in it.
Yes.
And there was Daleks in it, and the Daleks were dressed in British military uniform in World War II, and were, I think it was during the Blitz, and they were like in Churchill's bunker and all that sort of thing. And you remember watched it with me, but you did not take part in the furore that went on over the internet on forums and Facebook and such alike, because this was early war, and the British uniform was changed throughout the war, as you know, as uniforms and weaponry does. And at the beginning of the war, they had a slightly different colour battle dress, and the Dalek was in late colour battle dress.
So there was a difference between the shades of khaki?
There was.
Why was that?
I don't know, maybe it was cheaper or something to produce it differently. I don't know. But the Blanco was definitely wrong on his ammo pouches.
Really?
Yeah. And you said, get a life.
It was sort of words to that effect. It was, does it really matter? And, oh, goodness, open up a can of worms.
It certainly did.
It's green. It's just green. Green is green. Green is green.
Or is it brown? It's khaki.
Ooh. Is there flecks of brown in the green? Is that what makes khaki?
I think I'm a little bit colourblind, because I see khaki as green, but everyone else tells me it's brown.
No, it's like olives are slightly different green. It's not a pea green or a... Yeah,
and I think it's because I'm slightly coloured, because the whole world tells me khaki's brown. And I look at it and think it's green. But I think
it's
just
a
my
browny
colour.
green. I am with you. It's not brown as in like a tree, like brown.
A brown thing.
Brown thing. Sticky thing. It's a slightly greeny brown, like green with a tint of brown. Anyway, we're arguing over colour. It really doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
That was my whole point on the night we were watching Doctor Who.
Well, really everybody was getting upset because
historically it wasn't accurate. Not that Daleks ever entered Churchill's underground cabinet war rooms during the war.
And were shooting down German Heinkels.
Yeah, so, I sort of draw the line on fantasy and fiction. But
if you remember, David Tennant got very annoyed with it and was hitting the Dalek, and the Dalek kept saying, "Do you want a cup of tea?"
No, I don't remember that bit. Is that a joke?
Classic, no, it was genuinely true, because the Daleks had infiltrated and were pretending to be on the side of the Allies, but actually it was all part of a master plan to take over the Earth.
Okay, I must have missed that bit. Or
and David Tennant was going, "Don't you not know these are Daleks?" And he was hitting them and things, and the Dalek kept walking around with cups of tea, making tea for everybody.
I don't remember that, but sometimes you have such a good memory. I don't remember that.
Well, I do also remember, because we had a Dalek that lived in our garage for 2 years. Because we did we had a Professor Elemental perform at one of our events.
It's like
and we needed a compare, and we couldn't afford it because Professor Elemental took all the budget. So we had to borrow a friend's Dalek. He had a 1960s.
You have friends that have Daleks.
He had a
that
1960s Dalek, for the next BBC thing. So I remember comparing this thing, not dressed, I was inside this Dalek. And then we discovered there is a licensed place that will make Daleks, and they will make you the British Army Dalek if you want one. They're expensive. They're I think they're a few £1,000. It's one of those things I would just love if I thought, but I don't know what I'd do with it.
It would just sit in the corner frightening everyone to death.
Well, it was a bit like the Dalek, because after we borrowed this Dalek for this event, our friend never came and collected it for about 2 years.
So it sat in our garage
for 2
in the way,
years.
Which was quite cool to begin with, and then it was just a pain in the bum because it just was always in the way.
I always had this vision I shouldn't tell people it was in there, just let them go in, and then they discover there's a Dalek sitting in there.
Sat staring at them. Thing is, you had to move it out the way every time you wanted to get it in the garage and to push the Dalek out because our garage was a bit cluttered at that point.
I remember you took it to a school fete as well.
Yeah, that went down very well.
Letting all the kids ride around in a Dalek.
Yeah, well, they got to go in it, and that for £2 or something like that to raise money for the school funds. And it was very popular, and I got very sick of pushing kids up and down the playground in it.
Yes, because don't believe that levitation stuff.
No.
I remember this when I did the compare for Professor Elemental for our event. I couldn't actually get the Dalek onto the stage, so I had to do it from the ground, and I couldn't go backwards either, and I had to be pushed back out because I used to go into the crowd and do the compare. Yourself and Mini Harry had to push me backwards to get me back out again.
But that was part of the comic value, wasn't it? You got so far and then you got stuck on the lip of the carpet and then we had to push push you over. But that had the comedic value of it.
And there is a YouTube clip of it.
Is there?
There is, yes. If you go to our YouTube site.
Which is?
Well, if you just go to harryandedna.co.uk, you'll see the symbols that say Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. If you go to YouTube, in one of those many videos, and there's quite a few of them, there is one of me inside a Dalek and Professor Elemental doing Everything Stops for Tea.
Oh, how cool. That was a good night.
It was a good night, many years ago, but it was a good night. Nearly as good as Mr. Chick Reb, who says, "Go Harlem."
What ho?
Chick Reb and his orchestra and Go Harlem. Do you see that nicely? Go
Harlem. And it's Chick Webb.
That's what I said, didn't I?
Well, you slightly roll your words.
Well, I said it's Chick.
Webb.
Yeah. Oh, yes, my W's. Yes. Those of you who listen to me regularly will know that there are certain words I cannot say.
Wobble you.
And if you want to listen to any of those shows, what you have to do is go to harryandedna.co.uk and you can then find out all about our radio show, and all the back catalogue is on there, either as podcast or as internet streaming. You can listen to the whole, I think every single show we've ever done is on there.
And check out the YouTube clips. I forgot they were on there.
There's not many.
I know.
And they're not very good.
Well, they are.
I hate to tell you this, they're not very good.
Don't sell yourself short.
Well, the radio show I'm very proud of.
Yeah. Well, the YouTube clips are works of art. Go in and check them out.
Particularly when you see a Dalek.
Yeah.
Introducing Professor Elemental.
As you do. We were just saying our kids must wonder what on earth they grow up with. We were talking about idyllic childhoods earlier, off air, and with hoping we're giving our children idyllic childhoods because they've been playing in the sea today, and then we realised that we used to have a Dalek living on garage, so maybe it's not quite an idyllic childhood, slightly quirky.
Yeah, and we never sent any of their friends in. So yeah, it's just in there, and then you have this Dalek face. Oh, that would have been such a good gag.
Yeah,
Probably
well, they knew
cruel.
it was in there because they used to play with the Dalek every time the garage was open.
Yes, I do remember once some kid dressed as a mutant ninja turtle fighting the Dalek in our street.
I know, see?
And that was
normal childhood for our children.
Oh, it's good. Do you know, the show is nearly over.
It's galloping away with us today, isn't it?
It is. So we're going to play a bit of Harry Roy, who's going to play Slap That Bass.
Yes.
And then we'll do a quick goodbye, and we'll also repeat the dates for Festival of the 40s, which if we weren't stuck over the ocean, we would be there, would we not?
We would.
We would. It was a little while ago we went. Young Minnie, Harry and I went. You weren't around. You were doing something again, probably Shakespearean.
Yes,
and so just young Minnie, Harry and I went, and we had a cracking time. In fact, we got a load of interviews which we've never actually played yet.
Oh, well, there's another treat for another day.
We were talking to all the reenactment groups, so basically we'll do the shows as this is reenactment group A and this is reenactment group B and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, who did I say it was? I said it was Harry, didn't I? Harry Roy. Not Minnie Harry, Harry Roy, and Slap That Bass. That's what I said.
Oh, no, you just said it was Slap That... did you say it was Harry Roy? I was listening, honestly. I give him my full attention.
What ho?
I was napping.
You were?
I was napping. We were debating whether it's 40sfestival.org or 40s Fest.
We're still going on about that, I'm afraid. We think it's... I'm sure you said to me 40sfestival.org, because I've written it down, 20th to the 22nd of July.
2018.
Or you could just... put it into Google.
That'd probably be the best bet. Cambridgeshire, not Cambridge.
Well, you said Cambridge earlier.
Did I? Oh, it's Cambridgeshire. It's a big place.
Yeah. So 40s Festival Cambridgeshire. Google it and it'll find where you need to be.
It's fantastic. And it's time for us to go as well.
Oh.
So we just managed to say, I've got to say, tinkty tonk.
And a toodle pip from me.
What ho?